Hola, bienvenidos de nuevo a la clase de Español 101 aquí en Cal State San Marcos. Soy su profesor, Dr. Michael Hughes, y hoy estamos hablando de los usos del verbo ser. Hello, welcome back to Cal State San Marcos Spanish 101. I'm your professor, Dr. Michael Hughes, and today we're going to talk about the uses of the verb ser. And you've seen it before, so here is what it looks like. This is el paradigma del verbo ser. Paradigma. In English, paradigm. And that's just a paradigm is a set of examples or a set that's representative of a pattern, right? And that's what we have here. So this is our verb ser in all of its present tense forms, right? So yo soy, tú eres, usted es, él es, ella es. Nosotros somos, ustedes son, ellos son, ellas son. Okay, so a couple of things to point out real quick. So let's notice, for instance, these are our pronouns, right? Our subject pronouns, yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros. Also, nosotras, if it's a group of all women. Ustedes is y'all, and ellos, ellas. What we see here, for instance, is we see that tú, in this case, when we're using it as the subject of the verb, does have the accent. We noticed before when we use it as the possessive adjective, as in your book, tu libro, it doesn't have an accent, right? But in order to distinguish the two uses, we get an accent when tú is the subject. Likewise, él, when it means the, has no accent. Él, when it means he, does get an accent. Okay, good. So, yo soy, tú eres, usted es, él es, ella es, right? All three of those are the same, and those are always going to be the same. And likewise, ustedes, ellos, ellas, those are always going to be the same, whether it's ser or leer or whatever verb that you have, right? Good. Okay. Good. So we translate English as ser in English as be, but Spanish has two verbs that are be. It could also be ser or it could be estar. We'll talk about estar later on. Estar is used for location mostly, and also states, right? So how are you feeling? ¿Cómo estás? That's a state, right? I feel happy. I feel sad. I feel, anticipatory or whatever it is. And location. ¿Dónde estás? Where are you? Ser is used for to express inherent properties of things. That doesn't mean things that are never changing, right? So yo soy profesor, tú eres estudiante. You're a student. Presumably, at some point, you'll graduate and stop being a student, right? So, but it's a way of describing sort of a characteristic that describes you right now, right? More than just sort of being happy or sad. But notice, like a state can also be permanent, right? So, estoy casado, I'm married. Well, whether that's a permanent state or not depends on the people involved in the marriage. But also, estoy, o él es, sorry, está muerto is also so being dead or alive is a state. And so interesting, you don't say él es muerto. You used it to say está muerto. Okay. You also use it for professions, profesiones. Él es estudiante, como acabamos de decir, like we just said. Ella es maestra. Él es papa. He's the pope. A quick word on those words. So this is a potato, la papa. Comida deliciosa, la papa. Notice no accents, just la papa, right? Typically, if a word in Spanish ends in a vowel, we stress the syllable right before the last one. Right? This one is el papa. El Papa, right? So la Papa, feminine, el Papa, masculine, and él es el líder de la Iglesia Católica, right? He's the leader of the Catholic Church. And then finally, Homer es el Papa. El papa. And notice this one does have an accent, right? Because it's pronounced differently. Remember, we said if it ends in a vowel, we expect the second and last syllable to be stressed. Well, here the last syllable is stressed. So that's what that accent's doing. And it's the same for mother, too, right? So la mamá, la mamá. And la madre, right, is the formal term for it. So la papa, el papa, la mamá. Okay, sorry, just a note on pronunciation. Okay, you also use ser for nationality, nacionalidad. El Papa es argentino, right? The Pope is from Argentina, or he's Argentinian. Sofía Vergara es colombiana. Zidane es francés. He's French, right? Okay, características inherentes, como hemos dicho, la identidad de una persona, right? So inherent characteristics, or that talks about identity, right? So Bill Gates es rico. Again, that's probably in his case permanent. He has so much money, but he could be, you could imagine a rich person being poor some other time in their life, right? So it's not something that's always true or never changing, but it's a clearly a good way to describe Bill Gates. Likewise, Simone Biles es atlética. She's athletic. Right? Um, este es un pájaro, right? That's just the identity of a thing. It is a pájaro. El pájaro es bonito, and we're just saying it's a beautiful bird, right? That's a characteristic of that bird is that it's beautiful. You also use it for time. So es la 1:15, it's 1:15. Son las 3 menos 5. It's 3 minus 5, right? So 5 minutes to 3. And then es el 17 de julio. It's the 17th of July. So days and times. Okay, that's that. It's pretty straightforward. Remember, it's not things that are always true, but things that are good descriptions of a person, but not things that are states or that are transient things, right? Ok, so hagan actividades 2:14 y 2:15 con su compañero o compañera de clase. Do activities 2:14, 2:15 with your classmates. And I just thought you'd appreciate this pretty picture from the Mexican painter Rufino Tamayo. And this one's called Tres Personajes, was painted in 1970. It's one of his most famous works. So I'll put a link to some websites that you could see more of his paintings in the description below. Okay, if you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me, mhughes at csusm.edu. No questions too small or too large. And if anything comes up and you want to talk to me, just send me an email. We can always chat in office hours. Thanks, bye. Adios.